Zombie apocalypse.
Welcome back to my channel Code with Chitu. This is Chitra and this is our fourth video, and for possible questions this is our second video. And those who didn't watch don't know about the previous material solution, how to solve the things, you have to make just watch those things and then two more videos will be there for solutions. One is in Python and another one is in Pseudocode, and all those things I will add in my description. And those who didn't know about that solution, first watch that videos and then continue this video, or else you cannot able to understand what it is. And this video is purely about the pseudocode. Answer is for pseudocode instead of Python. Pseudocode most of them can able to understand. If you need in Python, please comment it. I will make video for Python also for possible questions. And already in part 1 we discussed about some of the possible questions, very simple questions we already discussed. And in these questions, in this video, we are going to see some other questions also. So let me go into the video. Before going to that, those who didn't subscribe, please subscribe your channel so that you can get very easily all the updations. Let's go into our first question. So first question is, explain with pseudocode statement how you check the number of tickets for the required train journey up and down the mountain is available. So can you able to guess which task it is? So here first thing what we have to note is it's explain. You have to think it is not writing the algorithm, it's just explain. So you need to explain it first. Okay, then next one, so you can see here explain. So you have to remember this is explain. Okay, so first you have to explain, that is not only algorithm, you should explain it. And with pseudocode statement, how to check? So you have to list some of the pseudocode statement and then you have to make you have to explain each and everything. So just I change. So first, both in up and down. Okay, so I have to write the lines like that. While validating the train number, so we are getting the train number for journey up and down, the number of ticket is available or not checked by the following statements. How? Which statement? So you can use your programming statement also or pseudocode statement also. So they are actually pseudocode means if you use the programming statement, suppose you are using VB.NET or any other C++ or Python, you have to explain it, because this is those who are working, they will check the logic only. So if you use the pseudocode statement, you have to explain. So here just I am using the pseudocode statement. You can see these two things. First we are getting the input and then this is the validation statement. Okay, so what actually it is doing, these two lines is just to get input of how many tickets you need, just getting the input from the passenger. And this do while statement is there. This do while statement, what it is doing, this do while statement is exactly validating your input. Here which is the input, you are getting a train number for, this is right, we are getting the train number for journey up. So here in the print statement clearly given, you have to choose 1, 2, 3 and 4. Within this only you have to choose, and then we have to validate. So actually we are using two validation statement. Here I am showing only one validation statement, because here the question is how you check the number of tickets. So they are actually peculiarly the number of tickets for the required train journey up and down the mountain is available. Like that you can tell. So here just I showed up, the same thing you have to repeat for down also. So you can choose that down also, it is in wordings you can write. Here I showed in wordings. If you are not satisfied, you can write again, you can write for this another dual statement for journey down. Okay, so clearly you have to write not only the algorithm, you have to write this explanation. Checks if the seat is available in the selected train. So which it is using up, this up total seat. So it is comparing with up total seat. So we already know in up total seat, this up right in up total seat, what it is? Total seat present in each train, it is present in that one. So suppose if they choose 1 as their train number, this maximum is 480. That time, suppose already some process is going on, that time in 480 how many seats available, how much number of passengers they enter, whether that much seat is available in that or not, that only we are just checking. So here it is checking whether the updated passenger is greater than total up seat. If it is greater, then there is no seat, that much seat is not there, so this loop will be repeat. So, and after coming out, you can see here only actually we are updating the up passenger. Up passenger array is used to store how many passengers travel in that train. It is updating every time. So already we added, then we are just adding that value to here. Permanently we are storing after validation. Got it? So whatever the questions for what they are asking, that statement you have to write and that explanation you have to give. That is the main thing. And the next one, in the second question, show 3 types of test data you used in this task 2 with example. And in this you have to notice here I clearly given task 2, but I am going to explain in task 2 only one part. And this type of test data, so this is very regular questions, and you can able to find out these type of questions. You can see the test data in every question paper. In Prerelease material means definitely one question they will ask about the test data. So there are 3 types of test data. I will explain with example itself so that it is easy for you to understand. Test data means just after writing your program, you will do some sample input and then you check whether the particular part is working properly. Suppose I am getting input, I am validating, I gave some conditions and I want to check whether the validation correctly it is checking or not. My program is checking or not. This is the way. So here task 2 means totally we can use. So in task 2, one part I will explain so that you can able to understand next part also. So there are 3 types of first test data we call it as. So I referred here the following test data are used to check the train for journey up. So task 2, 2 things is there for journey up as well as journey down. In your question if they ask for task 2 in generalize, you have to explain these 3 test data for journey up as well as journey down. If they clearly ask 3 test data, any 3 test data you tested in your program, in generally they can ask like that, means any one you can show, or particularly in task 3 what are the test data you used. If they ask like that, in task 3 what are the things we are doing? In task 3 we are just calculating this highest and lowest, those things, right? That you can check, but mostly this test data will be done not in the task 3, task 2 only, because inputs we are giving in task 2, so they will concentrate on task 2 only. So first test data is acceptable data. So this is very important. Acceptable data or normal data. You can call it as acceptable or normal data. And what it means, we are checking. So here I give some sample, right? One example. So what are the 2 inputs we are getting? Number of passengers for the journey and the train number. So number of passengers 40 I am giving. If I am giving any negative numbers, it may reject. But in our program, we didn't add any validation statement for number of passengers. That is one limitations in our program. And but which we have to consider this train number for the journey up. So I am giving 2. So here we gave that condition that it has to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. So I gave 2. So what it means, it has to accept. The program has to accept. So I have to explain why I gave this input. These inputs are given to test whether the program accepts the data or not. Right? We have to check whether this is accepting or not. This type of data we call it as acceptable data. The or else normal data. So next one is its opposite, right? Test data 2 is non-acceptable data or abnormal data. We can call both the things, both are same. Okay, anything, any one you can write. And here also I just gave if a is if you give, because we have to give only integer, if you give a, automatically error will throw. This is normal. and enter the train number. Train number I gave the condition already in first question. We already discussed. I told that two condition it will check. One is whether that much ticket is available or not, and another condition also we have to add. I told right that is 1 to 4 only it has to be. So that condition I am checking whether 5 I gave right whether it is rejecting or not. So these inputs was given to test whether the program rejects the data or not. So if it didn't reject means our program has some error, so we have to reconsider. So these data, so two test data. Last one is boundary data. Okay. See this boundary data, in this boundary data I need to tell there are two boundary data in acceptable. So here we are using this acceptable data, right? In data as well as in rejected data, this abnormal data, in both the data we can able to use this boundary data. So here what I explained is in that acceptable data, most extreme data we are doing. So that I clear it alright. So here in acceptable data also we can use this boundary data, and non-acceptable data also we can use the boundary data. So just give an example here, 4 is the most extreme. Okay, so here actually we have to give, we can able to give 1 to 4, right? We can give 1 to 4, whether 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. So 1 is the least boundary data, that is least extreme data, and 4 is the most extreme data. So this input was given to test whether the program accepts up to this data. So here most extreme I gave up to 4. After 4 if I give 5 it is rejecting. So this we call it as most extreme data, that is boundary data, most extreme acceptable data. Actually it is most extreme acceptable data. Suppose if you want to give the boundary data it's a non-acceptable format. So in that non-acceptable also we can give. If suppose if I am giving 5, 5 we can call it as least extreme, most extreme, least extreme also. We can call it as least extreme rejecting data. Whether from 5 onwards it is rejecting or not. Like that we can tell. Or else if I am giving 0, 0 also it has to reject, right? 0, negative numbers. So this is also least extreme rejecting data. From 0 also it has to reject. From 0 onwards it has to reject. From 5 onwards it is rejected. This we call it as boundary. So 0 and 5 is boundary data for non-acceptable, and 1 and 4 is also boundary data for most extreme data. So we no need to confuse. Actually in exam they are not preferring to tell you exactly that boundary data whether acceptable or non-acceptable. You can just fix boundary data for acceptable is more easy for you to fix, because we are giving that range, right? 1 to 4 only acceptable means other than that corner to this corner to that corner we can able to. So one we call it as least extreme. Okay, one we call it as least extreme data, least extreme, and 4 is most extreme data. So any one you can show. If they ask for both, we can show. Any one you can show. So these inputs are used. Inputs was given to test whether the program accepts up to this data or not. So clear, I think, right? So next question. In this third question, it clearly gives, explain with a pseudocode statement how your program find out and display the time journey with most passengers travel that day. So most passengers travel that day we are finding out in task 3. It is the one part of task 3 question. Okay. And in this what happening? They are asking you to find out, explain. So we have to explain that one. So we need to explain and with pseudocode statement. So I just want to show you the pseudocode statement and we can start the explanation. And here you can see this highest we have to initialize with 0 or negative numbers, and for loop, inside for loop to each statement. So we can see the explanation now. So here the first highest variable, right? You see that the first highest variable is initialized with a negative number, so that the first value will be stored into the variable. So what's the purpose of this storage? So if you make it a 0, if you store any other value, some first value first you have to store, then only we have to compare the next. So first value have to be stored. So I just initialize it with a negative or 0. And the for loop is used to get each train detail. So it is in array, right? So everything array. So for each train 1, train 2, I have to check. So for that to go into the sequence, we are using for loop. That explanation given. And in up passenger, total passenger traveled up in each train was stored. Likewise in down passenger. So here they are telling in up passenger, total passengers travel in that day is stored train wise. In train 1 how many, train 2 how many. And like that in down passenger also we use that one, right? And that only just I refer here. And using if statement, that is the important. Using if statement only we are finding out. Using if statement as shown, the most traveled train, most traveled train is most traveled, how many passengers traveled. Actually most passengers traveled train was found out. And direction, dir variable used to store the direction of the train. So here you have to see this if statement, right? This if statement is fully used for up passenger, and this if statement is to find the down passenger. So what is that? First in highest we are storing the first value, and we are storing the count means what is that? That means the train number, right? We are storing the train number, because we are not using separate train number, not stored in separate array. So 1, 2, 3 like that only. 1 means train number 1. So that I am storing, and it is up direction also I am storing. So this will be repeated. So second time when it is coming, second train, it will check with the second train value, and if it is greater, then it will be changing, or else it won't go into the if statement. The same way the down passenger also, we are just storing the direction and also train number. This most passenger train is count means we are storing the train number. Both the things we are saying. After, if it is coming out of the loop means in this most passenger train, right? Most passenger train and direction, and in this highest, in this variable, which that how many passengers travel, right? The highest value will be in this highest variable, and which train, that detail will be in most train, most passenger train, and in direction up will be there. Clear? So this will be calculated, and that we are printing. The train with the most passenger is that most passenger. Suppose which passenger, suppose train 2 is traveled. So most passenger is train 2 and traveled up direction with the highest value of 440 passengers travel means like that the intimation will be there. This you have to write and explain to the very nicely. You have to briefly explain. These carries mostly 4 mark. 4 mark question is sometimes they will give 6 marks also. So depend upon how many marks they gave, you have to explain it properly. Mostly 4 mark is enough for this question. So we can go for the next question. This question is very important. Okay, write an algorithm using either pseudocode or programming statement or flowchart. This is just normal way of question format. How your program displays the day end report. They didn't refer you which task it is, but they clearly told day end report. What is that? Day end report. So day end report where we are calculating in task 3, right? We are using it in task 3 only. So what we have to write? We have to write algorithm. No need to explain. We have to write algorithm for task 3. Clear? So task 3 algorithm only you have to write. No need to write any explanation. So it starts with this highest, the same thing, right? Highest, and we have to print, and this print statement means this updated screen, right? Updated things we have to print first. So this print statement is to print the updated screen. And what are the things we are printing here? This count means train number, number of passengers traveled up, number of passengers traveled down, how many money earned for a passenger for each train, right? So how many passengers earned for down money and total money. This already we calculated in task 2, right? That we are just printing. and while printing itself we are calculating day total. So we have to add here the day total also will be here, right? It is missing here. Day total equal to 0. This is running total means we have to show this also. Day total, sorry, let it write clearly. So we need to add this day total, right? So two things we have to add. One is day total highest. So day total equal to 0 you have to add, so that this is a running total, right? So the running total will work correctly. And then, so what are the things we are adding? This total money we already done, right? The total money is for one train, right? Each train details as array. 1, 2, 3, right? For 4 trains we are storing. That we are adding together. So we are just adding whole how much money earned. And this total passenger also we are finding out. So total passenger also it's a running total. So that also we have to instance. So day total and total passenger also we have to write. So this total passenger also, total passenger passengers equal to 0. So these two, so in task 3, these three, actually in task 1 itself we are initializing these things, but when we are writing task 3 separately, we need to refer this highest day total 0 and total passenger initialization also we have to do. Then we have to start this for loop, and we are calculating this day total we are calculating, day total we are calculating, and total passenger we are calculating. And already we discussed in question 3, right? This if statement. This if statement to calculate the highest travel for journey up. And next one is it's continuation. For loops not at end. Next one is if statement for this down passenger, right? This down passenger, the same thing like that, right? So down passengers also we have to calculate that if statement, and for loop is end. And these three print statement is used to print the total passengers what we calculated running total, day end. Day total means day end how much money earned by all the trains and how many passengers travel in all the trains here. And this is the most already we discussed in task 3, right? That one, sorry, in question 3, right? That we are printing. This is very simple actually. If you compare to other task 2, task 3 is too simple and very easily we can done. That's it. The task, full task is clearly noted. If they gave for explanation, you have to explain line by line. No need to write the sequence form. Just you have to initialize this. We have to find, you have to use a running total for the day total. There's, like that you can explain is okay. Let's go for the next question. So in this question 5, comment your efficiency of your program, means you have to tell all the advantages of your program. So what are the advantages, how much it is efficiently working for the given task, that you have to tell. So we can just see all the points. Our program, so your program, you can tell my program displays. The first thing is we have to display, right? The display screen. So the display screen is working properly in our program, right? So the display screen shows all the details of the train, especially train number and what start time, end time, total passengers, total seat present in each train, and how many passengers up to now traveled in journey up as well as down, and how much money earned, total money also we are displaying in the task 3. So these details is always displaying. So it is one of my efficiency. And also the main efficiency is in my program the train journey. When we are selecting the train journey up as well as down, both the inputs are validated. So we are validating both. So I simply again, so in this second point you can develop more that one, that my train it is checked here. They gave, right, the program checks. In third point you can see the program checks while purchasing the ticket whether the ticket is available or not. That one condition we are checking. Next condition what we are checking, whether the passenger entered the right train number or not. That also it is checking. And third thing, in when you are choosing the train number journey down, right? And it is third condition what it is checking. It will check whether the selected train number is after the train up. So these three conditions. So that for simply I just made it as it's well validated. Each thing is validated with these three conditions. If you have time, if you forget some other points, if you want to elaborate these 2 points, you can elaborate it into 4 points, right? 3 points or 4 points we can elaborate. And every time after the ticket purchase, the details are updated and displayed on the screen. So updated, you can tell updated into that array, updated in array, and then we can use that one. That also you can tell. And this program also calculates the cost of purchase ticket with discount and without discount for both single and group tickets correctly. Of course, we are using that if statement also to calculate that one. And program also finds out the most passengers traveled train. So we are calculating, this is in task 3 we are doing, right? Most passengers traveled train also we are calculating, and the whole thing we can call it as day end report also we are producing. So these things it is done in this in our program. So these are the efficiency of our program, right? Very easy points. Whatever you done in your with your program, all the positive points you can accumulate and you can tell it as a efficiency of your program. And next one, comment any weakness or limitation of your design. Sometimes they are actually weakness, sometimes they are better, or limitations. Mostly it is limitation. We cannot tell the weakness, but limitations are because we are not developing the whole software, right? For your standard, they are giving some tasks that the same thing we can develop into a good software. But if you develop the software, all the limitations, weakness we have to release. But here, as for O level you are making, so IGC you are making, this limitation is there. So you must to know what are the limitations in your program also. So let's check what are the limitations. Passengers are allowed to choose only within the 4 trains, right? We are choosing within the 4 trains. We cannot able to choose more than the 4 trains. The 4 trains only is available, so no other way we have to choose only that. And next, separate train number is not stored or maintained. Actually, in Python, I used to store the train number also. But here, what I am doing in pseudocode, we are not using separate train number. So, but we can able to use extra one array. We have to use a train number to store train number, because mostly train number will be combination of number as well as text, right? So we have to declare it as arrays, double array or string array we have to use. So this count is enough like that for IGC standard, that is enough, so we didn't use that array. So that we can bring in the limitation. It's not weakness, but we can tell it as a limitation. So separate train number is not maintained and used, right? That we can tell. Then next one is number of tickets purchased, right? Number of tickets purchased in this number is not validated. So actually I already told number of ticket purchase is not validated, right? We didn't validate this number of ticket, right? We just get the input and we are not checking. There is no any range check. We are not checking, and we are not checking the limitations or if negative numbers it has to throw error like that. We didn't add. We are not validating that input. That actually a weakness or limitation. If you need one more if statement, one more this loop we have to use. So now it is not needed. We didn't add. That is we can tell it as limitation. And if the most travel time, this is one limitation, right? One weakness also we can tell. If both up and down journey is equal, suppose uh, we are just checking using the if statement whether the train traveled most means how many passengers. Suppose in up suppose 480 people travel. In down 400 people only traveled means what it will give. In up which train number, suppose train number 1 means it will tell the train number 1 travels 480 with 480 passengers. Most traveled train number is 1 and most traveled passenger 480 will tell. For example, if in up as well as down in both 480 maximum, in both they are passengers, in up also in train number 1, in both train they just choose the train 1 as up as well as down. So here in both there is or is in train number 2, say for example train number 2, in down passengers it is used like that means actually we use the if statement, two if statement, not else if statement. It is we are using two if statement because for up journey down journey separate array we are using. In up journey what it is happening, after checking about the up journey we are checking the down journey. In this case what actually in our program it will do, it will show that only down journey. It won't give any reference about the up journey. It will tell about the down journey only. That most traveled train number is 2 and the direction is down and 480 people traveled. Like that the result will come and it won't give any reference about the up journey of train number 1. This is the limitations. This also we can fix it, but we left only to show one point in the limitations. Okay, and in group tickets I found one limitations like that discount is if 10 to 80, right, 10 to 80 means here you can see the 10 to 80 means we will get the discount. Before 10 no discount. Okay, if greater than 80, suppose if I'm purchasing 90, actually this what I gave, that program will not calculate give any discount, but it is not good, right? If 80 people they are giving a discount, why for 90 they are not giving? Because in past they given maximum in one coach how many people can able to sit in each coach means 80. Only 80 people can able to sit in each coach. So if the person travels, suppose 80 people can able to travel means all has to present in the same coach. If they are taking in the same coach means they are telling each coach, so how many, six coaches in one coach everyone has to sit means discount is available. Actually we didn't consider that also. So we are making 10 to 80 means discount we are giving. If more than 80 means of course 80 people will sit in one coach and 10 people has to sit in another coach, that they are not giving discount. So the passenger has to come and they have to twice they have to purchase. First for 80 people they have to purchase and then 10 people they have to purchase, then they will get the discount. So this is the limitations. Okay, this is the limitations. We cannot the program it is not caring about those things, that also we can able to do. These are the different types. So first we saw efficiency, second we are saying limitations. Okay, next suggest any improvement in your program. These improvements you can see normally in paper 2 because they will give one algorithm and they will tell you some of the improvements what we can do. Without validation, they will give the input. They will tell improve your program by giving some validation statement like this. So what are the things? So what are the limitations and weakness we listed already? For each point, you have to tell some improvement. So those weakness you can improve, right? What are the things we can improve? Separate array, I already told in our program we are not using any separate array for train number. So to improve means I can use separate array to store the train number. So I can store the string type of train number, exact train number I can store. So I can improve by using train number and validate the number of tickets. I didn't validate my number of tickets purchased, so that also I can validate. That is the improvement. And most travel, what just now we discussed, right? Most travel time in both up and down journey is equal. Also need to find out using if statement and display in day end report. That also I will improve. And next improvement in group ticket purchase, discount is not given for more than 80 tickets. Clearly I told it's not given. That is also we referred in the limitation. So may improve the program by giving discount for more than 80 tickets by dividing the passenger into different coaches. So my software I can able to improve if more than 80 people there means they can divide them up to these people can sit in this coach, this coach. The software has to divide and they can give separate ticket for 10 people and 80 people in different train coaches. The next coach we can in train number this next coach you can coach 2, coach 3. So for that also I can maintain differently. So that one I discussed here, right? I think you enjoy these things. It's very easy and useful for you. And if any other questions you have, if you want to clarify for this possible question, some other questions, if you felt that I left it. So if you want clarification about it, please write your questions in your comment. If more than 5 or 6 questions different questions. If it was there in comment, I will make it a separate video. Or for your one questions, if you are asking that questions, I will explain in that comment window also. And other than these possible questions in paper 2 or paper 1, if you need any explanation, this particular topic you cannot able to understand, need explanation about this topic. Like this, if anyone asks, I'm ready to do that one and do that. I think you enjoy, and any other suggestions you have, you are free to tell, and I'm very happy to accept your suggestions. And let's check our next video. I will try to make it more easy and one small topic as a revision. I will just make one video just for one topic explanation and its related questions. Like that I will try, because it's a revision part, so I don't want to explain. If you want any particular topic you feel very difficult, you want a more explanation, that if I give more importance is better for you, because your exam is very near to yours. So hope you enjoy my video. If you have any suggestion, please comment, and if you like it, like and share it. And if you didn't subscribe, please subscribe my channel. Code with you too. Bye. See you soon.